possible, worried about the future value of the currency, and wary that the government might seek to nationalize private wealth. Despite the real and legitimate worries about the future of South Africa, the country has a strong legacy of creative problem-solving. In most cases, it's been country-specific, and not all ideas transcend borders, but some do, and their creators are among the finest business builders anywhere. Ideas, like plans, are worthless without effective execution. How often have you seen a product or come across a service and berated yourself for not developing your own similar concept? It's much harder to execute and deliver on an idea than simply dream one up. It's one of the greatest failings in the thinking around what makes entrepreneurs. The difference between them and the rest of us is that they deliver their big idea rather than waiting for the right time, the right place, the right partner, or the economic climate to improve before launching. Some of South Africa's most successful entrepreneurial ventures emerged from its darkest days. Bidvest and Nando's from 1987 as South Africa defaulted on its debt and P.W. Botha clung to power, and his intransigence over entering negotiations with the then-banned ANC and its jailed leader Nelson Mandela. And then there was Discovery in 1992, around the time of South Africa teetering on the brink of civil war and a year before the assassination of the South African Communist Party leader Chris Hani. The storming success of Capitec emanates from a time when a small banks crisis took hold in the early 2000s, leading to a collapse in a vulnerable sector. Its single survivor now has the biggest retail footprint of any domestic bank, and its growth is outstripping that of rivals. Growing a business domestically is hard enough in a tough regulatory environment that is hostile to business success. Globalizing that business is considerably more difficult and takes a particular kind of genius. The reality is that the South African domestic economy provides plenty of opportunity for startups looking to solve the myriad of problems the country faces, from basic issues such as water and electricity provision to security, healthcare, and education. Some of these businesses are transcending the domestic environment in new and ingenious ways. Not all succeed, but many do. There's a new generation of young business leaders cutting their teeth on solving problems locally, whether it be creating the perfect coffee experience, finding sustainable models for health insurance, developing vaccinology, or utilizing raw materials that the country has in abundance to build leading enterprises. This book is about some of those renegades, the problem solvers who have identified systems and processes that they have refined domestically before the challenging exercise of going global. So much of our daily lives is focused on the noise of the day's political news and the failure of politicians to do their jobs that we stop paying attention to what is really important. We tend to ignore the genius of the problem solvers and focus most intently on the stuff that frightens us. That is, of course, human nature. We instinctively seek out information about danger as it tells us what to avoid. It's an inbuilt survival instinct. And because the 24-hour news cycle requires events and outrage to attract eyeballs, those best at hijacking it to get attention for their causes increasingly create drama for the cameras. News is an enormous availability machine. Stories do not make it to the top of the agenda because they're important. They get there because they're available. In the world of television news, the more spectacular the footage, the bigger the outrage, the more likely it is to get extended airtime. There's a very good reason to host a noisy protest outside Parliament in the hour ahead of the State of the Nation address, as there will generally be nothing happening beyond a few talking heads pontificating about something that's already been talked about to death for days in the run-up to the event. Give the editors an excuse to switch to a protest, some tear gas and a couple of stun grenades, throw in some shouty politicians, and it does not really matter what it's about. It is more compelling to watch than the dirge that was there. And we fall for it every time. South Africa has a remarkable independent media, without which we would not have seen the Gupta leaks and a host of other critical exposés that changed the course of history for the better.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.